All righty. All righty. Let's get started, gentlemen. All righty. Live from Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It is the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, hosted by Byron Jones and yours truly, Victor Orocho. I'll take some of my back screen. Please, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to all our channels. You can subscribe. Today is March 10th, 2022. Subscribe to our channels, the Sportcast, and YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, iTunes. Also, don't forget on iTunes, you go to your podcast, a little purple podcast, and subscribe to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. We have our podcast. You see Byron in my picture. Let me change my background to my Jersey Boys. And unfortunately, my daughter came home today. So please, again, we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube every Thursday at 8 p.m. You can also listen in on your smart speaker. You can go to your smart speaker. Let's just call up the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, and you'll hear me, Byron, and our guest host, as always, doing some Jersey style NFL football, NFC East, and some crazy talk here that we got going on. So welcome, everybody, and let's unmute my guest and host. We got a bunch of people coming in, so get them all in. And Mr. Byron, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you today?
Man, I just came back from South Florida, Miami, so I was hoping I'd make it home. My daughter just got home from college for spring break, so pretty excited. I haven't seen her yet. So as soon as she gets home, they go right to their friend's house. So she was here for a second and ran out when I had you guys there, and then I can't find her. So I don't know, but how are you doing? How's the it's getting nice and warm over there. I heard it's going up and down still over there.
Full of snow Saturday, so whatever, man. It is what it is. Yeah, it's supposed to snow Saturday.
No way.
Yeah,
it was like 70 degrees the other day.
Yeah, it was 71 on like Sunday or whatever. But yes, snow for Saturday.
That's a gross reason why I don't like going up there during that time, because if someone has the fortune to get me to one of those malls or places, they never turn the AC on because of exactly that reason. And a guy like me who lives in air conditioning, I'm dying of heat.
Well, the reason why you don't come out is because you're just soft, man. You're soft.
I'm fragile.
Yeah, there you go. Fragile.
I'm fragile. All right.
Yeah, that's better.
Well, welcome again, Byron. Good to see you. I see your Poconos, your second home in the Poconos. I take it is doing well.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of snow up there too.
Okay, so I hope you and your wife had a good time and enjoying yourself. Well, welcome to the show. Our guest host is, and a regular guest host, Mr. Joe Capraro. Joe, welcome to the show.
Gentlemen, how's everybody doing?
Joe is a fellow podcaster as well. He's got a couple of his shows, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And he was nice enough to have me on the other day, and it was pretty fun. So I really appreciate it. We'll talk about that. And then I got another regular guest host, and my buddy Aaron Bernstein, Vet Clouding. And we got him on. He's a Washington Redskin fan. So, we got some news going on in there.
Oh, my. Don't even get me started. Yeah.
Okay. I heard you a little upset with some of that. So we're going to get into that a little bit. I believe John. Okay, John's waiting. Yeah, John, hopefully his video's waiting and his apple juice is basically like filled or something. We got John Rodenberg, another guest host of ours. He's on our show because he's our Denver Bronco co-host analyst. So, we're gonna talk a little bit about stuff that's happening in the Denver area. So, Aaron, welcome back to the show. John, welcome back to the show. You know how to get you on the show today because of the recent happenings today. So welcome to the show. God bless. Attaboy. That's what I like to see. And he's got his Bronco hat on. So let's jump into it. So pretty excited. A lot of things happening. A lot of crazy stuff, both in basketball and in the NFL. But obviously we talk a lot about football today. And I know that the Sixers and the Nets are playing today. I mean, yeah, the Sixers and the Nets are playing today. Does anybody know if that's over, if it started?
No, they just started. There's nothing going on. They booed when he walked out there for pregame, and that was it.
For Simmons, right?
Yeah, for Simmons, that's it. Yeah, it's a non-story.
Yeah, well, I would. Don't you think he deserves being booed though?
For what? He messed up, in Philly when he didn't take that shot, and Philly fans are very special. They don't forget, they don't forget certain things, and that's one of the things. And, this guy wants, he's making $20 million a year, man. That's what you get paid, to make a shot or take a shot or whatever. He didn't, and you reap what you sow.
Yeah, but he also held out. I mean, he just did a lot of things that was kind of crazy. I just don't like the way some of these basketball players are handling their stuff.
His issue with mental health issues, he didn't want them, the Philly fans are special. They're going to sit there, they're going to scream at you and yell at you, call you all kind of names. And
then they're going to cheer you.
And then they'll cheer you. If you win, they'll cheer you. If you don't.
That's like that with everybody, though.
Yeah.
Remember when Michael Vick went back there? They were boycotting, they were doing everything until Michael Vick started playing. And they signed him for $100 million. They signed him for $100 million contract a year later.
Well, look at Michael Irvin when he went down and they were throwing snowballs and all this other stuff when his career was ended. So Philly fans are special.
So we'll get into their NFC East. All right, so let's we're going to start off today. We always start off with our Giants. So I see a lot of action going on our Facebook stream, and so you don't think the Trubisky, Santiago wanted to bring up the Trubisky possibility, going and taking care. And remember, he's going to be a star. Daniel Jones going to be a star.
I'm going to stick with that. I'm sticking with it.
Everybody on this show has been on it, right? Because Joe and John have been with us during the entire playoffs. Obviously, we take our breaks with Brian and try to alternate our guests and stuff. But during the playoffs, once we had you guys on a roll, we wanted to keep it going. And then we have stuff to talk about, so we always welcome you. But we got Byron documented, and I got now approved and put in. They don't deny deflect here, right? We got a lot of brothers on the channel that says gonna be rising star. So
and he even put it on the chat 2 days ago.
That's right. I'm going to keep doing it too.
It's on it now. So there's no hiding. I'm taking snapshots and everything because he's got, he's old. He's got a short-term memory, Byron. He'll say, I didn't say that. Prove it to me.
Of course I would. Denied deflect.
I got to go pull the tapes. So now I put it on the tape so I know what month to look at. So I can say, remember, this is what you said. So anyways, so what do you think about, so what do you think is going to happen with the Giants from the quarterback position? Do you think they're going to get someone to compete, make Daniel Jones compete? I understood that's what they're talking about. Whether it's Trubisky or not.
Yeah, but it all depends on how much cap space they have. If they have enough money to sign this guy, then they'll sign him. That's what it's all going to boil down to. He might be a starter someplace else, who knows, or whatever. All I know is I'm going to stick with my guy, Daniel Jones. He does need competition. Maybe it's going to bring cream. It's going to rise to the top, and he's going to be a star. I keep telling you that, but for some reason, you just don't believe it.
Hey, listen, it's not like I'm a Giant fan. I want to see it, but I don't.
You ain't no Giant fan. You're Tampa Bay.
Stop it!
Tom Brady fan,
still on this?
Come on,
you got more NFL hats. You still got a Rams hat.
Oh.
I don't own a hat for any other NFL team.
You want one?
No. You got a hat for everyone. You even got a Kango hat that you threw away for the Bucks.
That's right. I chucked it right in the garbage.
Oh, stop. At least these guys are on enough that they know you now. So anyways, so outside of Trubisky, who do you think would be a good acquisition for competition for Daniel Jones?
Anybody.
Well, not Glendon.
No, definitely
not. What about how about Teddy Bridgewater?
They're trying to get him to be the backup for Russell. So
does Bridgewater want to be a backup still though?
Well, he wasn't that great. He was okay as a starter, but
I don't know why. I don't know why everybody beats up on Teddy Bridgewater. He's a good player. He really is.
I'm not beating up on Teddy. I love Teddy.
And for some reason, he just gets his back kicked in constantly. As far as he's a bridge guy. He's this, he's that. He's a good player. I wouldn't mind if the Giants got him as far as a backup. But Trubisky, I don't think he's going to go.
I'm just
You
saying
guys
that
are making fun of me for cheering for
Bridgewater
Teddy
is
last year.
good enough to play to start, but he's also good enough that would be a good back push for Daniel Jones. I think that would be a good competition, right? And it wouldn't cost us as much as Trubisky.
Right.
But what will happen, though, is that the same thing that happened in Denver. You have the presumed starter in Drew Lock, and Teddy comes in and blows his doors off in camp. He might do that to Daniel Jones, too. You never know.
Nah, Daniel Jones is a star. A star.
Byron, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I love Danny.
I remember I have an incredible memory. Before he's going to be a rising
star. I don't care.
Now, Joe, listen to what he said. He's now saying he is a star.
That's right.
The man can be delusional. That's fine. My problem, when I look at this list of free agents, I don't see anybody on this list that excites me anywhere near as much as Malik Willis. And you can get him with one of those two picks. You can probably get him with the 7th pick. So if I'm the Giants and I'm looking for competition for Byron's hero Daniel Jones, then I'm gonna go cheap. But also, if I'm the Giants, I'm sure we're gonna get into the Giants draft later on, so I'll save that for now.
No, go ahead. We're on the Giants. We're gonna move. We're not gonna go through. Byron's having some USFL stuff that I gotta cover, so we'll figure that out.
Well, the Giants definitely need an offensive tackle. So you take the best available one of those with the first pick, and then with that second pick, if they want to go quarterback, go quarterback. But if I'm the Giants, I think I'm going to take a defensive end or a cornerback with that second pick.
So you like this guy, Malik Willis? He's playing for the
Liberty University.
Liberty, yeah.
Liberty University?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
playing for Auburn.
Yeah, transferred, yeah.
And transferred to Liberty. That's interesting.
Yeah, check out his highlights, man. He reminds me of Lamar Jackson, man. That kind of exciting, that kind of unpredictable on every play. I believe in this guy after just watching a few games worth of highlights.
Yeah, but when he played against the big teams, he didn't do as well.
No, he didn't
at all.
Well, let me tell you, now I know why Liberty was up in the rankings. I'm like, why is Liberty doing pretty good? I didn't know that they got a transfer from their number one. And it goes to show you, Liberty's a Christian school. So I'm just wondering how Christian Malik Willis is.
About as Catholic as the guys at Notre Dame.
Yeah,
exactly. We got to give Brigham Young credit. Brigham Young doesn't mess around. They're strict Mormon. There's no confusion there.
My boss's wife works at TCU.
Right.
And I hear stories all the time. About the players at TCU. Yeah, whatever.
Malik Willis is just Christian enough. He just got that one sacrament. He just got one. He's just Christian enough to go to school there.
Hey, look, God bless him. Liberty's a good school. I don't have anything, I'm just kind of ironic. I just thought that's all, going to Auburn to Liberty is when you go to Liberty, it's because you're going to Liberty. That's where you want to go.
Yeah, and as far as not performing as well against better teams, it's because he was at Liberty. It's because he doesn't have an Auburn level offensive line to go up against Auburn's defensive line. So I think, watching him run around out there, when he's 2 steps ahead of everybody else, you can sort of assume that'll translate to the next level.
For the record, he was MVP for the Cure Bowl and MVP for the Lending Tree Bowl. Byron.
At least he went to a bowl game.
Lending Tree Bowl.
I don't know.
Everybody goes to a bowl game.
I know what Lending Tree is. I don't know where Cure is.
Well, the University Tulsa went to the Tidy Bowl.
Cure, I think Cure is insurance, right? Isn't that as big in Jersey?
Yeah, Cure is the bouncing blue ball.
The insurance, okay, yeah. And then Lending Tree is that thing you go, okay. All right. Well, look, hey, if the kid comes from Liberty and he's over there, but now we got a quarterback from Duke and a quarterback from Liberty. I don't, it don't really inspire me too much. But okay. Byron, what else you got with the Giants? There's much happening right now, so there's more.
Well, they signed an offensive tackle, Gano, a kid from South Jersey kid from I think Atlanta Falcons. What's his name? Sterling Shepard is going to take the pay cut. As far as get to stay. So I guess he's going from $12 million to $1 million. Veteran minimum. Then you have who's the other guy? Then Penny, the fullback, is not going to be back. So they do have a lot of changes going on.
Okay, interesting. Well, hey, welcome on our specialist analyst and coach, Mr. Andre Gispert. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk.
Gentlemen, how y'all doing?
Good. You're going to give us some insights. Oh, by the way, you got any analytics on Malik Willis that transferred from Auburn with his Christian values to Liberty?
I think right now a dumpster fire smells better than Auburn right now with all the coaching changes. If you look at the last 3 to 6 months. I'm sorry, my little guy wants to say hi.
Hey. What's going on?
Hey.
What up, doggy? Welcome to Jersey Boy Sports Talk. Jersey.
Don't worry. You never have to be a Giants fan.
That's not right.
That's coming from a guy who lives in Ohio.
Yeah.
So we were just talking
basically
about who do you
Auburn,
think would be a good backup to give Daniel Jones competition. Is where we were headed. And then
I really think what's happening right now in Auburn is worse than a dumpster fire. But yeah, I think that kid coming out of Liberty, he is amazing.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. I do think he is not NFL ready right away. I think if you throw him to the fire right away, it might burn you. But if you give him a year to understand NFL defenses, the speed of the game, because he was at a mid-major and he performed very well at a mid-major. But now you're in the big boys, so it's a little different. And he showed to a lot of NFL scouts that he is very, very good.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. Good pick, Joe. Let me tell you though, he's from Georgia. Georgia produces some good football players. Number one, and number two, that would be that. I guess that would be good. A good push for Daniel Jones. Again, I just go back to.
Daniel's going to be a star, man.
I'm not too excited about having a Liberty quarterback and a Duke quarterback, and like that excites me. But anyways, let's move it on.
You can get rid of the Duke. You can get rid of the Duke one.
Daniel's going to be a star.
Oh, that was he's gonna be, or he is a star. Come on, you're going back and forth on me. Okay.
Well, here's all I got to say. A little known guy from Northern Iowa turned into a Hall of Famer. Another guy came from Southern Miss and is another Hall of Famer. It doesn't matter where your pedigree is, it's how hard you're willing to work.
That is true. None of them are quarterbacks.
Brett Favre, Kurt Warner.
Okay. Warner. Pretty good group.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Jerry Rice when you said that. I thought you said Southern Miss.
Mississippi Valley State, yeah.
Oh, well, he's from Mississippi Valley State, right?
Or Shannon Sharp.
Right.
South Carolina.
Nope,
right,
Savannah State.
South Carolina. Savannah State. There you go.
Yeah,
Savannah State. Okay, so all right. Well, anyway, so Joe, what else you have for what about? Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little. We'll come back to you. Give you a little jet time.
All right.
So all right. So let's see what's gonna happen there.
It's gonna be kind of short.
We're trying to become Buffalo NFL NFC East. Too many better. So now let's get into the big story. One of the big stories with Washington, the NFC. Washington getting Carson Wentz. So let's give our resident Washington NFC.
This is gonna be good.
Let's give our commander time.
There's nothing to say. That was one of the stupidest moves I could have seen them. I'm predicting, and you can document this. Give him 2 weeks. I give him 2 weeks, 3 max. I don't even think he'll make 3 before he's injured and done for the season. And they're right back at where they are. I'm being generous with 2 weeks. I think he'll be out in the preseason. I said to somebody else, this is about as dumb as when they brought in Donovan McNabb. I'm questioning, was this Rivera pulling him in, or was Dan Snyder somewhere in the background starting to do the stupid moves again
Dan Snyder
and bringing has-been players?
Dan Snyder was digging through his emails for more dirt on Gruden. But
what do you think?
I'm not a fan of this move.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. But no, it's Dan Snyder. He wants to get a name no matter what it is. And if it comes from Philly, all the better, because he wants to drive Philly nuts. He doesn't, and no offense against the Giants, but his goal is to drive Philadelphia nuts. Now, it hasn't worked because
there's no offense to the Giants.
The Cobra Commanders are not going to be any much better than the Deadskins.
So, Byron, what are your thoughts on that one?
They made a bad move. Yeah, this guy, according to what they were saying today, that he's not a leader. They had an issue with him not getting the shot, COVID shot. That came up today, and it's just that technically he really didn't win the championship in Philadelphia. It was the other guy did. He just went around for a ride, but basically there's no love for Wentz around this area.
Well, there's already talk that he's already having issues. That the locker room is already having issues with this signing.
Hold on, Aaron. Let me go around the round.
Okay.
Joe.
Are you asking me if I think Carson Wentz is the answer for the Washington Commanders?
No. There's no answer.
I mean, right.
This is about whether the move, right, was good or not. That's how I look at it. The topic for me was Carson Wentz going to Washington. Was that a good move for Washington? Right? Because I thought Heineke was pretty good, but I don't know if he was the future or not. But that's it. Go.
Well, I mean, I don't know I don't think it was enough of an improvement to justify the move, to justify making this big a move. Carson Wentz doesn't excite me at all in any way. I wouldn't call it the dumbest move in football history, but it might be the dumbest move of the offseason. We'll have to see. There's a lot more to come, but wouldn't excite me if I was a fan of that team.
Yeah, but the guy has good numbers. He had 27 touchdowns and I think 7 interceptions or whatever. He has good numbers, but it's just something about him that's an issue with everybody.
Are you going to win anything? Are you going to win anything with Carson Wentz? Really?
No.
Yeah.
No. Andre?
Not a chance.
So yeah,
I'm sorry, guys. I think I disagree. I think actually this is a decent deal, because if you notice, in the senior practices and whatnot, it looks like Ron Rivera is already looking at a future quarterback, and he's looking at at some of these young guys, and I think I think the consensus is that they're looking for a second round quarterback. Something that they could develop into something good. Yeah, but whether or not that will work, I don't know.
How getting Carson Wentz and spending that money going to help you now get a second round?
Because if you look at it, so they're paying a lot of money this year, but then they're satisfying the players' union because they weren't spending money in the last couple years. They weren't spending money. They were literally, other than the Dolphins, they had the most cap space last year at the end of the season. And there's repercussions for doing that in the player when the players union sees that. If you stay in the bottom 5 3 years in a row, you end up having to pay a penalty towards that, according to the new collective bargaining agreement.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah. So, in a sense, yes, it sucks in a sense that they're getting a guy who is, if you, in many senses, you know, people in Philadelphia, as I look at the Philadelphia 76ers getting drilled right now,
me too.
You know, he's past his prime. He's past his prime.
I don't think he's at a prime. Personally.
No, I disagree.
No.
I'm sorry, I disagree. I think he had a very good prime when he had a good offensive coordinator who was utilizing the RPOs and stretch and dive and more veer, whereas, you know, they wanted to turn him into this pocket quarterback that he really wasn't.
Yeah, but
You know,
the coordinator at Philadelphia was Frank Wright, and then he left, and he was the head coach at the Colts. And then, you know, if he got rid of him with the Colts, he has some issues.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm hold on. Now hold on. Before I'm getting my producer telling me, but hold on there. All right. So here's the deal. That I kind of feel what Byron said, right? Okay. The Colts were pretty surprising the last couple of years, playing pretty decent ball. They were surprising us, right? I mean, they were playing pretty decent ball. That wasn't, you know, okay, Carson Wentz going there. Okay. He's now with Frank Wright. I mean, all this stuff should have worked, right? I mean, and it didn't. And, you know, I don't know what other better word there is, and there probably is, because I am not saying the person Carson Wentz, and I'm not saying this in because it's easy to call someone a winner, right? But if you call him a loser, it sounds so bad. But in my opinion, he's a loser, but not like a loser person, loser, anything like that. He's just like, when you need him to win, to perform, he cannot do it, right? And that's how I see him. I think, you know, the guy's got talent. He's got the pieces that you need as a quarterback, but something's wrong when he goes to the coach that he wants to go to. He goes to a team that was pretty good before he got there, right? And that same coach gets rid of him.
He's not a leader.
That's the problem. If you're expecting him to be the locker room leader, he's not. He is too quiet and too in many veterans' eyes, he's too much of a yes man. And, you know, when he was in Philly, he had Jake Long to be the locker room leader. When he was in Indy, Frank Reich needed him to be the leader that he was expecting him to be. You know, hey, you just won a championship. You need to be a leader, and he didn't. He just he wasn't filling in that role.
Let's rack it up. We feel bad for Aaron. I wanted him on here so he can express his emotions. For me, I'm happy with the trade because it's Washington. You know, it's in my division. I don't really care. So I'm happy it's pissing everybody off in Washington and let them be distracted. I do like Ron Rivera, so I'm just wondering where is that coming from, right? And then, you know, Andre, thank you for shedding that light on some of that information regarding the collective bargain.
Yeah.
Let's get to the Dallas Cowboys. What do you think about them getting rid of Amari Cooper?
I saw that coming.
Yeah, I saw that coming a mile away.
Not a shock.
Really? Okay. Nope.
Jerry's got other issues he's dealing with. He don't have time. He's got legal issues now. He's got to deal with. He's got a lawsuit. So
he got baby mama problems.
Yeah,
baby mama problems.
Hold on, stop. Tell me what's going on. I'm missing that. So you guys.
So apparently there was a 25-year-old that sued him for over a paternity, saying he's her father.
Yep.
I haven't read much into it, but I happened to read that part and I just died laughing.
You didn't hear that, Byron?
Yeah, he's 900 years old, man. He got baby mama drama, man. Really? And he gonna talk about his players? Come on, man. Really? He can't say nothing about anybody now.
So there's a 25-year-old young lady that is now claiming to be his daughter.
His baby mama. Yeah, baby mama drama.
Not his baby mama, but his baby.
His daughter,
her mama's the baby mama.
Yeah. her baby mama's baby.
Byron, get your mamas right. Okay, so anyways, hey, can you please get that ice cream thing out of our face? I know you're a big boy and stuff, and you're in Ohio, but we don't need to have your wrapper in my face and stuff.
I've lost 30 pounds, and now I want a freaking popsicle. Thanks a lot, Andre.
Hey, thanks, Andre.
By the way, I did notice, John. I'm sorry, I do notice that. I just mentioned you do look a lot thinner.
244, my friend, from 270.
Lay off that apple juice. Hey, so look, but I'm they're talking a lot about the money issues that the Dallas Cowboys are going to have when Micah Parsons is going to need to get paid. That offense.
Yeah, but don't even go that. You have DeMarcus Lawrence has to. They asked him to take a pay cut. You have Randy Gregory. This guy, same thing. And, you got Ezekiel Elliott is next year. They have a lot of issues. They gave all these guys all this crazy amount of money, but, it's come time. It's that time now. And they're going to have to start making, choices, as far as getting rid of them. They're either going to stay or they're going to go. I think DeMarcus Lawrence is like, oh, no. I ain't taking a pay cut. So they're either going to cut him or trade him.
They're overpaying a mediocre quarterback too, so
yeah,
they got that problem.
And they should have gotten rid of they got a running back they could easily get rid of.
You give me average, Vic?
Dak's above average. Come on, man. Are you going to say Tony Romo was an average quarterback?
Yeah, but
Romo was better than Prescott, though.
40 million for Prescott. 40 million?
Guys, this is Murphy right here, by the way, guys.
Time out. Hey, what's up, Murphy? Hey, so Byron, wait a second. The debate is this, right? I understand. So there's two pieces here. Is Prescott, let's good conversation here. Is Prescott a what do you call, you say, Joe, average something quarterback?
I'll call him a 6 out of 10. How's that?
Okay.
That's generous. I say 5 out of 5.
And then Byron, you're saying for $40 million, he's not worth $40 million. Let's rank them. Joe, 6 out of 10. John,
5 out of 10.
Byron,
5 out of 10.
Andre, 4 out of 10. Aaron,
Andre's tough, man.
Really?
When you don't go through your progressions, if you're a quarterback and you don't go through your progressions, that pisses me off. When you don't notice the hot route, it pisses me off. When you have,
because he was hurt. I think he
I don't
was,
care.
He was scared. He got hurt.
Then don't play.
There you go.
Was his brain injured?
They gave him $40 million.
Well, I mean, let's be free. His brain could have been, because look at that final play he did that cost him that one and done playoff run.
Byron, where'd you go, Byron?
I'll be right back.
What happened, Andre? Did Andre make you hungry?
He went to go get a fudsicle.
Andre, man, go get me a fudsicle.
So I do want to say, since we're on the subject of the Cowboys, can I just ask a quick question?
Sure,
please.
Landon Collins, where do you think? Could you see him ending up with the Cowboys? Since Washington decided to, sign him to a $28 million.
Wasn't he there before?
I don't know where
he was Washington let him go today, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Snyder must have gotten in on that one as well.
So Gruden emails. I tell you what, man.
It's got to be, because they just signed him to a massive contract.
Well, Andre will get the scoop on that.
In 2019, and then you just cut him because the reason they're saying was salary cap issues, whatever, and it's probably because they brought that bum Wentz in, so of course they got salary cap issues now. But I was just curious where
when they sign him now, someone else has got to pick up that contract.
Right. I'm just curious to where we think he could end up.
That's how bad that's what, just
I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up in Arizona.
We're always debating the Dan Snyder and Jerry Jones, right? And look at it. You got Jerry Jones, who's now he's overpaying his players. You got Dan Snyder that wasn't paying, being under the cap, but then signs a guy at a high level just 2 years ago, and now you're going to get rid of him. But someone's got to pick up that contract. So when you sign somebody high, it's not that easy to get rid of them more, unless I'm missing something, Andre or Byron.
If he gets, so when you get cut, the only thing that they're responsible for is up to 80% of that contract, not the full amount.
Yep.
So, the one
cut.
who takes if you get cut, and it has to be cut for cause. Now, if it's cut, without cause. If it's cut for cause, they owe you nothing. Mm-hmm. Cut for cause means like the kid who got caught gambling, not passing your drug test, not passing your physical.
So Landon Collins, what cause would they give him to cut him?
So, for what I understand, his is without cause. And as of right now, they're trying. They were trying to get him to remove his no trade deal, and he wouldn't. So that kind of complicated the issue. So they're just cutting him because he had a no trade clause.
Interesting. Well, I think this all shakes up again for the Giants to win the NFC East.
Anything is possible, dude. That's all I'm saying. Anything is possible.
Yeah, like Wilson going to the Broncos. We'll get into that one.
Yeah.
Byron, any updates with okay, so we'll get off the Cowboys. I just said, again, the Cowboys, it goes to show you that you can make the argument on both sides of why both of them are terrible owners, number one. And number two, I just think, again, from a business perspective, obviously Jones has done a great job on the value, and the value of the Washington Redskins is high too, so
yeah.
But from those business perspectives, but Joe, Daniel Jones wants to win. Jerry Jones professes to want to win the Super Bowl every year, and I just think that he's done a good job of bringing talent together.
Ain't won under 25 years, man.
I just think that he has bad coaches, and he doesn't let them run their teams.
But at least if you're Vic, I agree. At least if you're a Cowboy fan, you feel like your team is giving you a chance to compete. Like, I don't feel that way as a Jet fan. I don't feel like they have a chance to make the playoffs this year or the next year or the year after that. But if you're a Cowboy fan, you at least know that your owner's going to put his resources towards what he thinks is going to help the team win. Not that it's actually going to help the team win, but what he thinks is going to do that.
Right, but that's my argument, right? So we're not even arguing that the Jets owner is a bad owner. We're just saying that these two owners we really believe are bad owners.
The Jets owner is a bad owner.
Right? Woody Johnson is a bad owner.
Woody Johnson is a bad owner.
Okay, so then that's a different topic. But over the course of this year, we've always been having a little bit of the debate within the NFC of who's the worst owner, these two. And Snyder's definitely has done his things. I only feel that when a guy puts all this money up, he puts pretty good players on the field, but he's the cause of them because of his meddling, not winning. That makes him a bad owner to me. That's all. Right? They got a chance, Joe, but they really don't. They're one and done. It's guaranteed. We've said it. I've said it. Poor Jeff. We've said it how many times? They've won when they were on VHS. Okay, so
Betamax, I thought.
But you have Woody.
And number two, my argument to Byron was when they won, he was a brand new owner. It was his first 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So he let Jamie Johnson do what he wanted to do until he got that taste of victory, and his ego got the best of him for the rest of his life. It's the curse of the Bambino. It's the curse of Jimmy Johnson.
I'm not going to defend.
Oh, go ahead.
I would say I'm not going to defend him. He fired Tom Landry. I've been pissed at him ever since. So that's all I'd say.
And
he's right with the whole with that ownership stuff. Because look at Washington. When's the last time Washington won? Was a Super Bowl champion prior to Dan Snyder owning the team. He's just been a cancer on that team ever since he bought it.
Well, when you're 34 years old, you can buy
yeah, I know. Let's be real. If I had been that age,
that's like a kid with a brand new Lionel truck set, man. You're like, I don't know what to do with it, but I'm gonna make it run.
I would have been the same exact way.
Yeah.
Man, 34 years old on an NFL team. But anyhow,
question, gentlemen: is there any GM that has won a Super Bowl in the modern era? I just had to look it up. I couldn't find one.
Al Davis.
Nope. I said nope because he wasn't the actual GM. John Madden.
He did say in the modern era.
Yeah. No, but also John Madden. John Madden was actually the GM. John Madden picked the talent, and Tom Flores also got to pick his own talent.
Okay.
Was George Allen? Would he be the last one?
None. No, I just looked it up.
Never.
No owner GM since I'm saying the modern era as 1982 when they changed it to the free agency, the days of free agency. No, not one.
Yeah, but my argument is this, guys, is the fact that I think Jerry Jones has done a good job as a GM.
What?
He's put talent on that field.
I don't think
oh my God, they won another 25 years. The Giants won 2 or 3 in 25 years.
Time out. Andre, what is the job of the GM?
To sell tickets and to win games.
And to put player selection.
And what else? Come on, Victor.
I'm just giving those pieces. Someone else.
He's not. He's also okay. So a GM is responsible for making sure he puts together a very well thought out, methodical, well-oiled machine on the field. And that's
which is players.
That's from the
which is players.
Coaches, players, and support staff.
Okay, great. So
no one thinks about the equipment manager, but let me tell you something. The GM
has he done a good job putting players on the field?
He's done a good job of finding talent in places that were not normally found, and at the same time finding them where they're supposed to be found as well.
But the problem is that he also is responsible for finding the coach.
Right, I guess.
What else are they supposed to do?
Well, look at Flores and the GM.
Championships.
Right? I understand, but the GM, you're right, Byron. But at the end of the day, the coach. The reason why the coach wants to be part of it, he's part of winning the championships, right? So I'm saying to you, he's done it. That was my argument. He does a bad job of picking the coach because he wants to meddle. He picks the coach that he can control.
How many coaches did they have the last 25 years?
That was what makes him the bad owner.
How many coaches have they had the last 25 years? Dallas Cowboys. A bunch.
They had a lot, yeah.
A lot.
The funny part is that it's weird that they had a lot, but they also held on to coaches for longer than they should.
Yeah, but how many championships have they won the last 25 years?
None.
Okay.
So I think it all depends on where you're going to draw the bar. Like if you want to judge his GM-ship and his ownership, you judge their record, like the regular season record over the years he's on, which has been pretty damn good. And they make the playoffs more often than not. But if you want to judge the coaching, you judge how they do in the playoff games, in the crisis games, and they suck in the playoffs. At least they have.
Hear you, Joe. Say it again.
They suck in the playoffs since
1995.
But that's but I agree with Vic again that it points more back to his fault, his failure in choosing coaches, as opposed to his failure as an owner, as a team administrator, as a GM. Man, Vic, I've never agreed with you so much in 45 minutes before in my entire life. So.
You agree with me. By the way, you've been agreeing with me on our last at least 2 shows.
I don't know who I've become.
Byron, what happened to you?
But look at the argument with Flores. Flores didn't want Tua. They got a good coach. They had a lousy GM.
Yeah, but who stayed? The GM stayed and Flores got fired.
Exactly. Right? Well, I'm just saying to you, but that's bad ownership. And that's why that owner is probably going to get kicked out of the league.
He ain't going nowhere. He's a good old boy unit.
Yeah.
If Dan Snyder's still an owner, the Dolphins are going to maintain their ownership as well.
All right.
Wait. So, Vic, do you like Tua? Are you a Tua guy?
No.
Okay, good. For a second, I thought we might have found
That's
something
why
we
my
disagreed on.
point.
Yeah.
I was agreeing with Flores. Flores did not want. So my point being is they picked a good coach, right? Okay, and the GM selected a bad quarterback and bad players.
Oh, come on, man! Really? Tua's a bad player now. Tua's a bad player now.
No,
I don't think the Dolphins should have drafted him when they did.
Bro, Byron, why do you do that, man? You always do that when I'm on. If I was calling in, Byron would be agreeing with everything I said. But now I'm calling in.
Loves Tua.
These are two separate conversations. Separate the two. He asked me a question about Tua. I told him no. The bad players, the Dolphins over the last, since I've been in Florida, their draft picks have been horrendous. Terrible. Barely any talent on that team.
I believe you.
Name the talent. Give me a name. Name 10. Give me 5 players you know besides 2 on the team.
Let me think about that.
That's a problem. 5 players out of 57. So anyhow, let's move on. All right, Byron, let's give us some Philly update. Philly news. You and John, since you got suicidal neighbors.
Suicidal neighbor was actually upset.
And God forbid, by the way, for that. That was more.
Go ahead, Byron.
My neighbors are fine right now. They think that Jalen Hurts is the guy. They're happy for now, but if they take those 3 picks and go for Deshaun Watson, which is also something we're hearing around here, then that might change. But right now, they're in this guy's court, because he has put up good numbers. But if they can get Deshaun Watson, they'll change real quick on him.
Yeah, neighbor is. I sent him a text about Carson Wentz going to Washington. And you saw the content of that text, Byron. I sent it the other day to you. He's actually afraid of Carson Wentz coming to Washington. I don't know why. Jalen Hurts, he's going to be a good quarterback, if not a great one. I don't throw praise on players I don't follow that much, but from what I've seen, he ain't that bad.
I think the Philadelphia fans they were in love with Carson Wentz for some reason.
They were.
Whatever
It's a love story.
They really wasn't in love with Carson Wentz, man.
Closer to Philly, they were. Maybe on the outskirts, not so, but around here, everybody had a Wentz jersey. And
go ahead.
No, I felt bad from the day that he left because that's a lot of money they spent in a short period of time to buy a jersey for a guy that didn't stick around.
Philly's a special town.
It is.
Doesn't American Express? Isn't there a commercial like you can trade your jersey? Like this?
Yeah.
But the jersey cannot be more than 9 months old.
Yeah, that is so sad that they got a program where you could return the jersey you bought because the player gets traded.
I should have bought a Drew Lock jersey, man.
Oh my God! So anything else happened? So Jalen Hurts. Anything else happening in Philly that's newsworthy?
Oh, nothing. Everything was all good, Philly. The only thing they wanted to do, they paid a whole bunch of money, to watch them scream at Simmons. It really didn't happen because I was watching it. They really didn't do anything with this guy, but besides everything,
they're getting smoked. They're getting smoked right now.
Yeah,
that's Philly.
That's sad.
I still stand firm on my. I still stand firm on
Is that another fudgicle? Boy, he already had
I stand firm on what?
Now you're hiding him down low.
No.
He's taking bites. Look at that. He's taking bites on the side.
I'll do a Kilroy next time,
There you go.
So here's the Kilroy thing. I think any team that James Harden is part of will never win a championship.
Well, I don't see Brooklyn winning.
I'm not touching that one.
I don't see Brooklyn winning one. I still got my heat. I got my heat going.
Well, we do have Joel Embiid here, the 7-foot jump shooting Patrick Ewing clone. So,
so you're going to be like the Knicks.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
All right. So let's move on. Let's get to a couple of pieces. Let's get to John's piece. All right, John. I led this is funny. Two of our guests that are fans and two of them the similar topics as quarterbacks. All right, it is your moment for the Russell Wilson show.
Here we go.
I appreciate all the support you guys have given me. Even when I said that he was coming to Denver, Andre, you said, "No, he's going to go to New York because his wife wants to." And I told you guys back then, all the record executives have offices in Los Angeles. You know where they live? Denver. Denver real estate is the hottest real estate in the country right now. All right, so
making stuff up, man.
Not
It's the ganja, man. It's the ganja.
Hey, it was legal in Seattle too.
It's not.
So anyway, so I think that they did not get. They gave up some. Shelby Harris. That's the one loss from this trade, and the reason why I say that: 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and I think fifth.
Yep.
And those 3 players. Okay. Noah Fant injured all the time. Plus, he drops more than he caught. You guys know my Drew Lock feelings. Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna bore you, Byron. Don't worry, it's all right. But I think, and the draft picks. Let's just look at a couple of our first round draft picks over the last couple of years. No, let's not, because first round draft picks are either going to be good or they're going to be a bust. Am I right? So they gave up practically nothing. That's 2 first round contracts they don't have to pay. What, Byron?
Number 9 this year. Number 9. That's pretty high.
Yeah, but you know what? Look at Bradley Chubb. That's all I'm saying. Paxton Lynch. Do I need to go on?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Byron, all right. So Byron, what do you think? All right, but hold on, Joe. Let's keep going. Let's go. Byron, what do you think about this trade?
I'm getting ready to step on all over John. I'm going to step on it right. He's the 3rd best quarterback in that division. Patrick Holmes, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, and David Carr. He is the 3rd best quarterback. Justin Herbert is going to be the guy in the next year or 2.
You actually think Carr is better than Russell Wilson?
No, I said he was number.
No, he said
number 4. Okay.
And then Russell Wilson, then Justin Herbert, then Patrick Mahomes. Come on.
All I can say is
that is a tough conference to want.
It is and I'm not going to deny that, but I don't count Las Vegas in the argument.
Conference.
I don't count Las Vegas in the argument at all.
I don't either, but
and the big thing about Russell Wilson,
the Chiefs and the Chargers are no joke.
And they got Khalil Mack today.
He might be the 3rd best. He might be the 3rd best in the division, but he's like the 7th best in the league.
Thank you, Joe.
It's just the luck of the draw that he's in that great division. And Herbert's a toss-up. I love Herbert, but you can't say that Herbert's clearly better than Russell Wilson at this point.
Clearly better.
And who is Russell Wilson going to be throwing to? Okay, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler,
hurt all the time. Hurt.
KJ Hamler was hurt. Yes, I'll give you that. All right, but he's got a lot more toys than he had up in Seattle. And plus, it looks like Bobby Wagner may be coming to Denver now because of Russell Wilson.
How's the offensive line for Denver?
Offensive line is average. They're not great, but they're average. And we saw. We'll go back to Vic's team. We saw what Tom Brady was able to do with a mediocre offensive line the last couple of years in Tampa.
But Tom Brady is 6'5". Russell Wilson 6'1".
6'1". Ain't no 5'9" Russell Wilson. Come on.
Russell Wilson is the size of Kevin Hart. Okay. You got Patrick Mahomes at 6'5". You got Justin Herbert at 6'6" or 6'7". That's a tough decision. I mean, I think it's a good team, the Broncos. I think Russell Wilson's definitely going to add. I just think, man, it's either now he's going to seal his legacy, or he's going to.
It's going to add to his legacy. The reason why I say it is, if you look at the games.
Wait a second. When I say seal, I mean it's adding it, or it's going to be his fate to his legacy, because that's a tough division to want to go to, right?
Yeah, but so is the NFC West. Okay. NFC West is also a tough division.
The NFC in general, though, isn't really a tough,
I don't know about the NFC West being
anyway. Well, let's take San Francisco out of the equation, and then we'll talk about
there we go. That's better.
Okay. But if you look at the games that Denver lost by a touchdown or less, last year, it was all due to, and I love Teddy, quarterback play or the other number 3. I forget his name now. We traded him, so it doesn't. I forget.
Oh man, Drew Lock, man. Drew Lock, man.
Andrew Luck. No, Byron. Andrew Luck played for the Colts.
Oh, Drew Lock. Drew.
What?
Drew. You know who he is, man. Drew.
I can't.
Wait
My
a
hearing's
second.
going.
Wait a second, real quick. Back to the NFC West. You're probably right, and it also lends to what Byron said. In the NFC West, the Seahawks were 4th. He went to the NFC to the what is it? The NFC
AFC
West.
He went to the AFC West, and he went from 4th to 3rd. Yeah.
It is going to change that team.
Andre,
who's out there?
all right, let's go. Andre, go ahead. What are your thoughts on him going into that division, man?
I think that division is going to be tough no matter what. I don't think it's a bad move. I just don't see that offense playing to his strengths yet. I mean, they're going to have to revamp that playbook to make it really work for him.
And Nathaniel Hackett will do that.
You're going to have to. I mean, when you give up that many draft picks, you better change the damn playbook. I just don't know if they're tooled offensively for someone of that caliber and that style. I just don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting, but you got to remember, Teddy is not a drop back passer either, and they just
you're absolutely right. Teddy's not a drop back passer, but Teddy doesn't move past past the tackles, man.
No, he doesn't. That's because there's usually some guy coming in to bash his head.
Teddy was not known for his feet.
No,
this one is.
Yeah, it's got and if you think about it, it's going to make it a hell of a lot more interesting. Denver is actually going to be in contention for a playoff spot now.
What?
Did you guys do something to that defense that none of us know about?
The defense was a top 10 defense.
I think Russell Wilson is a good acquisition. I don't think he's going to make much of a difference in that conference other than he's going to play well.
The defense was a top 10 defense last year.
You had me until Russell Wilson's not going to make that much of a difference. I think he's going to make a huge difference. I think I'm with John, man. I give up the farm for this guy, regardless of what you think it's going to do to your team's overall makeup for the next year. If you can add Russell Wilson, you friggin' add Russell Wilson and worry about the rest of it later.
No, I agree. No, listen, when I say he's not making a difference, and I apologize, you're right. He's going to make a difference. Anyone getting Russell Wilson is a good acquisition.
The Jets are going to be in the playoffs.
Wow! By you saying that, you just clarified how bad Denver's going to do. But anyways, the fact that I said he's not going to make a difference, I just think that it's still going to be the Chiefs and the Chargers conference. That's what I meant.
I mean, I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender yet. Like, there's moves that have to be made, but they're definitely
not going to knock off those two teams.
Oh, well, but here's the thing, though. You don't have to worry. It's not the old NFL where only it's one team from each division makes it. Now it doesn't. As long as you win your 10 games, win your 11 games, you're going to make the playoffs. So I think we've seen 3 teams from a division make the playoffs quite often the last few years. So I think they have to play each other more often, but it's a couple games a year. I think it washes out. If those are the better teams, they're going to make the playoffs. So,
and the Chiefs barely beat the Broncos last year. 7 points. That was it. Last game.
Justin Herbert is a new king of the AFC West.
Oh God!
Well, but I think what
they
the Rams
fire that coach.
I think what the Rams showed last year, though, right, is that maybe this model of just shooting your shot, just loading it all up for 1 or 2 seasons might be the way to go for now. Although it's funny because it's proving to be the wrong way to go in the NBA. Just so we're watching the Nets fail to accomplish, trying to go that same route. But it seems like the way to go in the NFL.
And it's the wrong way for Dallas.
Hey, Byron, I'll be scared.
Aaron, hold on. Aaron hasn't had a chance to comment on this one.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I think it's going to shake things up. I don't know. I'm not sold on the Broncos making it all the way, but it definitely puts them in contention. That's a massive upgrading to their quarterback. But they've been looking for a quarterback since Peyton Manning retired. This is it's a pattern that John Elway follows.
8 and 6 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
8 what quarterbacks?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I put that all on Elway because he's been
you guys,
trying to find another Peyton Manning to get the Super Bowl, and he hasn't done it. I don't know if the talent that they have is enough to do that this year.
Just think about Peyton Manning and think about
because the same arguments you guys are
how
making
tall
now.
are they? They're both 6'5". Now they got a 5'9" quarterback.
The same arguments you guys are making now was there. All I heard when they signed Peyton Manning. Oh, there's no offensive line. Manning's going to get killed. No. Didn't happen.
Manning to me Manning's great. I don't care what team he was on.
Well, we'll see.
Right?
But
he also didn't have Patrick Mahomes, and he also didn't have Justin Herbert in his conference.
Wilson doesn't have to wrestle the football. He has to throw the football.
Yeah.
Was that?
Herbert's a kid that needs Clearasil, right?
Yeah. All 6'6" of them.
Yeah. Who throws
just a bigger target to hit?
Who throws a 40-yard laser beam on a rope?
Which is nice, but
so does Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
No, not like Justin Herbert. There's not even a comparison.
Gentlemen, we will see.
You really want to compare those two guys throwing rockets? I don't think there's even a comparison.
Who has a Super Bowl ring? Just out of curiosity.
He would have had 2 if he had a change of play when they were playing the Patriots, but that's another story.
Well, no, that's Pete Carroll. That's why he's not
he should have had
in Seattle right now because of Pete Carroll.
He should have had 2.
Yeah, he should.
Stupidest play I ever thought of.
Oh, I don't want Marshawn Lynch to get MVP, so let me go ahead and throw this 2-yard pass.
It wasn't him. He didn't call the play.
Darryl Blevins, or whatever the guy's name was.
One of the two. They're either Pete Carroll or Blevins, but yeah, but Pete Carroll coached like he coached for the Jets. So.
Let's move on. Let's move on now. All right. This has been driving me crazy because I hated watching TV, all this Aaron Rodgers stuff. And then signing with the Green Bay Packers, which I believe that's what he was going to do anyways. And he got the largest contract in history, right?
Supposedly.
He got $153 million guaranteed.
Did he sign it?
Yeah, I think
he can't sign it yet.
He ain't signed it yet.
Yeah.
No, he agreed in principle. He can't sign it till I think
$153 million guaranteed.
April, right? Is it April or is it May?
Tuesday?
That's
Tuesday.
That's a lot of money. $153 million guaranteed.
He's a diva, man. He's a diva.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any other place he should have gone to be honest with you.
I don't think anybody would want his diva mentality.
And the fact that they had that Russell Wilson trade already lined up tells you that Denver was not serious about going after Aaron Rodgers, because that was announced the same day, within like a half hour. So it was already done.
He's a diva, man. He likes drama. That's it.
That's why he keeps dating actresses.
He's also very good at the quarterback position. I don't know if you guys had noticed that. He
is. I didn't notice. I never paid attention.
Yeah,
I thought he was an Instagram follower, an Instagram model.
And also, in case you hadn't noticed, NFL teams are willing to overlook a lot more than diva-esque natures and anti-vax statuses when it comes to talent.
That is true. That is true. Cousins is still a quarterback starting in Minnesota, so
I'm not sure that's going to last. He might be a casualty this year. There's rumors. That's all I'm saying.
It's a lot of money a team's got to put up to take him off the Vikings, which I don't see happening.
He ain't going anywhere.
I think Aaron Rodgers. I think it's a good place for him. I think he's going to win. He'll win his conference. He's always going to he's going to have a shot at the playoffs again.
And then what?
He'll get to the championship and then lose.
Yep.
Again.
Like always.
To the Commanders.
Yes.
Well, it's going to be tough to field a competitive team when you're paying one guy $53 million a year. Like that's the problem they're going to have.
What does that do to the site? What are they going to do with their backup quarterback? What was the guy they drafted?
Jordan Love. Jordan
yeah,
Love.
What team's he going to play for?
He's going to trade him to the Giants.
Hey guys, I'm gonna give you a quick rundown real quick. Quarterback throw power. Number 1, Josh Allen, 99. Patrick Mahomes, 2. Matt Stafford, 3. Baker Mayfield, 4. Aaron, that's pretty impressive for a little guy. Baker Mayfield will be 4 because he's tiny. Aaron Rodgers, 5, 95. Zach Wilson, I think that's Byron's boy. Justin Herbert, number 7, and Deshaun Watson, number 8.
Hey.
Russell Wilson's not even in the list.
It's because he was injured last year, dude.
Well, Ben, there's a lot more.
That was Watson on the list, and when's the last time he threw a ball?
Like 3 years ago.
There's a lot more to quarterbacking than how hard you throw the ball, though. You know,
the argument we just had, we just had a point was, I said this kid could throw the ball 40 yards on a rope like I've never seen it in a long time. You guys said so can Russell Wilson. So all I'm bringing up is that. That's it.
So can Geno Smith probably. Who knows?
I ain't bringing up any other pieces. I just said, hey, you cannot tell me that what you saw, you can compare that to the way Russell Wilson throws that ball, particularly today or even ever.
Los Angeles Chargers, Super Bowl champs.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I hate the coach. I don't like the coach.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm impressed. You got to be impressed. Out of all these quarterbacks, the smallest guy is Baker Mayfield to be number 4. I mean, the kid must have some kind of arm because, I mean.
He just doesn't have a brain, but he has an arm.
Yeah, a 4-cent head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Deshaun Watson does throw a rock. I mean, no matter whether he played or not, it doesn't matter. But I can't believe that Justin Herbert's not number 1. But then again, in that game, Kansas City and the Buffalo, you saw the power of Josh Allen's arm and the power of Patrick Mahomes' arm at the end. I mean, those things were bullets.
Maybe if you gave Herbert a baseball, he'd be number 1 on that.
You're not going to mention your buddy Tom Brady, though?
Now, you can't say that because I think Mahomes wasn't Mahomes a baseball player?
Wilson was a pitcher too in college, right?
Too, yeah.
Yep.
Well, didn't he have an offer to play for
He got drafted.
He got drafted by the Rockies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted to come to Denver.
So did Kyler Murray. All right. So we're wrapping up with that. Byron, for some reason you sent me the USFL thing, so I got that up. You want to take that over because I have no idea what you want to talk about.
Really, you don't know? Well, they're going to start. The end of this month, I think it was, or next month. Where it's some of the same teams that they had back in the day. Because I got drafted by the Oklahoma Outlaws, and they got my rights traded to the Tampa Bay Bandits. That's where I got a chance to meet what's his name, Steve Spurrier, and basically he told us if you guys got a chance to go to NFL, man, you need to go because I think we're gonna fold. And guess what? He was absolutely right. So they folded. But it's gonna be exciting. A lot of the guys that didn't have a chance, not getting a try to the NFL or just get a shot. Gonna get tape. As far as to get to the NFL. It's gonna be just like a breeding ground. So hopefully it works out. And they do have 2 minority coaches. Kirby Wilson and I forgot who the other guy was.
I got it on screen. Can you see my screen or no?
No.
You guys can't see the screen?
I see the screen.
Yeah, I can see the screen, but I don't see who the other coach is, though. I forgot who the other coach is.
I was asking, can you see the screen? All right, they kept the same names, huh? So
same names.
Same city, same names.
Same, and the New Jersey Generals play the Birmingham Stallions.
There's only 8 teams, though.
Yes.
We're missing some teams. There's a team that Steve Young played for us out here.
Yeah, the Los Angeles Express.
Yeah, they're not here.
Yeah.
Well, so basically, when they when they were able to buy the rights to the USFL, they were able to buy all the entities of the USFL.
Right.
So as long as the cities didn't change, they could utilize the same team names and mascots and all the proprietary intellectual property that was involved. As someone who knows about 6 or 7 guys that are currently working for them, I just hope that the checks don't bounce. I got some friends that were burned by that American Football Alliance, and a couple of other ones that are still burning from the XFL. So,
tell them to hit up the Rock. I think he can fix it.
Well,
doesn't matter what you think.
Well, I really think that
with the Barney suit.
Dude, that was crazy. That those Barney pants were just hilarious. But I really think that The Rock has actually got something smart up his sleeve, because if you notice, they're creating an alliance with the XFL is making an alliance with the NFL, in which they'll be able to move up from the XFL to the NFL without penalty and come back down, kind of like the G League. Which, if you ask me, that makes a whole lot of sense. It's about time that there's a minor league.
What does The Rock have to do with it, though?
So The Rock owns the XFL.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
He got money like that.
So no. So the truth of the matter
Good
is,
for him.
he was able. So Vince McMahon owed The Rock something like $80 million over the course of 8 years or something like that. And The Rock said, "Hey, instead of paying me, let me buy the rights to the XFL." And Vince was like, "You know what? Have at it. I'm done with the experiment." And
so no, is he?
No.
So
it was basically instead of $80 million, he got the XFL.
Yep.
So pretty much he bought the XFL for $80 million.
He bought it for $80 million. That's correct. And with all the equipment and all the IP, which let me tell you something. All that equipment that they bought for the XFL was all top of the line. I will say this: think what you want about Vince McMahon. He did not spare any expense on buying brand spanking new, top quality computers, software. He was so forward thinking about making sure that gaming, sports gambling could happen in the XFL. So he had an offensive analytics guy, a defensive analytics guy.
Byron.
Oh no, here we go.
Let it go.
But no, what they were doing was to come up with the stats and the data information so that they could go ahead and do sports gaming like how it's done now on DraftKings and stuff. Another thing that Vince did that he did, say what you want about the guy, he bought the latest and greatest equipment as far as helmets and shoulder pads. I mean, he literally bought the top of the line equipment for those players.
And they still should be good because the league just didn't play much.
Well, that's the thing. Those helmets are good for 8 years. So yeah, they're great. All things considered.
Consider they only had 4 games, right?
6 games.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
With all.
So what are you saying? What do you mean that they can move to NFL?
So if you pay attention to how the NBA and the G League have an agreement where a guy can get picked up from the G League and move up to a 10-day contract with the NBA, and if the 10-day
seasons aren't crossing.
No, even though the seasons are not crossing, you don't lose your roster spot if, let's say, you go ahead and you play for an NFL team for a practice as a practice player. You could go back to the XFL and play the season because there's no guarantee the next season that you're going to be a practice player.
I'm assuming the NFL practice players, Byron or Andre, make more than a guy playing for the XFL.
Well, for the XFL, that's the catch. The XFL, starting, if you're a starter, you're going to make what a practice player makes.
So you're pretty much you're just getting the step up to get a chance to be in the NFL. You're not really making a pay increase.
Right.
You're not making a pay increase, but you're double dipping. Think about it. Let's say you made $112,000.
Oh, they're going to pay them from both sides.
Yeah.
Right, you get paid
paid
your 10-day, major league contract.
Well, no, in this case, you
but
play your
also
roster.
in a 10-day major league contract, they also get paid by the minors.
So if you, I don't know about baseball. I only know about
I was
basketball
asking
and football.
Joe. Yeah.
Well,
Joe,
again,
you said if they go to 10-day contract in the majors, they're still getting paid from the minors.
I was talking majors, minors. Was talking about the NBA and the G League, but yeah, I think you still get your G League check, right? Even if
That's correct.
when you're being paid your 10-day NBA contract. Yeah,
that's correct. You double dip, and you could do that 3 times in a row.
A lot of money.
Oh, buddy,
Shoot,
it's life-changing money for a guy who does like 7 10-day contracts.
yeah. And a lot of them get converted. The Blazers have converted 2 of their 10-day contract guys to full-time deals because they traded away 7 players. That's what you have to do. So,
well, another thing that the G League did that the XFL is doing is, let's say you're in the XFL. Well, no one team has rights to you now. You could go. You could be playing next. Last year you played with Tampa. The next year you're playing with Dallas because no one has rights to you because you were a XFL player. There's no rights. No one has rights to you from year to year.
That's a good idea.
But they're still banking on the fact that XFL stays functional.
Well, that's one. 2, I think the rumor has it he's going to screw over the NCAA and start taking in high school guys.
Huh.
Byron's thinking about coming out of retirement right now. I can tell.
I wouldn't want one of them right now. I've been a fellow apart. Like, no way.
Say that again.
No.
You're gonna say XFL, like the way they did it with Herschel Walker. You're saying that they're going to take football players out of high school?
Well, let me ask you a question. If you're a kid coming out of, and I'm going to use this as an example, if you're coming out of St. Thomas Aquinas, would you rather go ahead and make $112,000 a year, or would you rather go play at Ohio State and make nada?
Well, you can make money now. They're allowed to make the money.
They get paid now.
Hold on, guys. An NIL is only if a company chooses you and markets you.
Okay.
There's no guarantees on an NIL unless you're at the University of Miami where they have an agreement where there's a gym that's paying $500 a month for every person on the roster. Now, walk-ons don't get anything.
No, but I'm saying to you, if the guy's a good player at Ohio State and he does his social media stuff and all that, he's going to get paid.
Yeah, but how many?
But it's not going to come out to $112,000, Vic.
You don't know some of these people making money on the social media.
Look, right now, the highest paid college player as far as the NIL is this kid out of USC, and he's only making 90.
What's the
Caleb Williams?
That's the name, image, and likeness contracts.
That's Caleb Williams, right?
That's correct.
Man, that can't be.
Yeah, that can't be right.
The kid from there's girls that are making
the quarterback
way more money.
The quarterback from Alabama had $1 million deal with somebody.
Yes, but it was in annuities.
Money's money, man.
I understand, gentlemen. I understand, and let's face it, and let's admit that Steve Young was still the highest paid non-active quarterback for 7 years because of annuities from the USFL. Well, I'm just simply saying.
And Alex Rodriguez is still getting paid from the Yankees.
Bobby Bonilla too.
Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid from the Mets. All I'm saying is,
I can't believe Bobby Bonilla. That's
if I'm a kid coming out of the hood, and if I'm a kid coming out of the hood, where EBT was paying for, I'm just using that as a reference because, unfortunately, and most people on this conversation will agree, most of those players are coming out of the hood to play the gladiator game that we love.
That's true.
And those kids don't have a pot to piss in most cases. And if they could go ahead and get mama a house they're gonna get mama a house.
Well, I think there's different priorities for different people, like with different economic situations, also of different playing different positions. If you're a quarterback and you can make big time NIL money, you're probably more likely to take that and go to Ohio State and make your 800 grand. But if you're an offensive tackle, you're probably better off going right from high school into the whatever this is going to be called, it's the USFL. It's the USFL.
So the USFL is not taking high school players. You have to at least have 2 years of JUCO.
Oh,
is what the USFL is requiring.
They're going to screw themselves with that one.
Yeah, but
remember, The Rock is the one who's trying to go ahead and get it to where he could take the high school players. The NFL is telling him not to.
Yeah, but it's a big difference, when you're coming out of high school to play with the big boys. You're physically, you're not ready to play with these guys that are 23.
It's going to ruin those kids.
It's a big difference. When you come, it's
going to ruin those kids.
Yeah.
It could and it can't. Well, the way The Rock,
and I'm surprised The Rock is doing that, because he's
the reason why The Rock is doing it this way is imagine those kids that they have every desire to play college football, but they can't afford it because they need to make money now. Let's say they got a baby. They got a baby mama. They got a mom who's living under the bridge.
Yeah,
they need to pay bills.
Just wrong.
It's a different method. It's a different methodology. I
don't think the kids are going to last. It's going to ruin them. They're going to get hurt earlier.
Vic, what do you think? They're lasting in college football with, and what do they get when they get hurt?
Nothing.
At least this kid got a paycheck.
It just scared me.
Oh no, it's scary. It's a brave new world.
Because football's a different sport. It ain't baseball. It ain't basketball. You're not fully. You haven't. I can just tell you this: the whole purpose why some states, like, I won't say any names, like Texas, whose kids they go back in grammar school, is so they can play football at 18 turning 19, is because your body is totally different once you hit 18. Okay? And I'm telling you, instantly 18, you're like, bang, you're starting to turn into man muscles. But it's just turning then, right? Okay? That doesn't give you enough time to really develop those muscles to go into playing against some of the competition they're gonna. It's not like a post high school league. There's gonna be some players there. You know what I mean? Some 27-year-olds, guys that came out of college that are heavy hitters. It's gonna hurt those kids. They didn't have enough time that their testosterone is kicked in to be able to do their workout. That's why men peak. We peak from a testosterone perspective at like between 23 and 25. That's our peak, right? At 18,
I can respect that.
You're just starting your peak. And
I can respect that.
At the time of working out, you don't have a strength coach. You don't have all that pieces that you're throwing into the speed of the game. It's totally different. Why do you think some college kids have a tough time when they do make it to the pros? The speed is in a different world.
You're right, but I'm gonna just name the following 5 names, okay? Caleb Williams from Oklahoma, Braylon Allen from Wisconsin, Jack Beach from LSU, Mario Williams from Oklahoma, and here's one who played for Georgia, Brock Bowers. They were all true freshmen. In fact, Brock Bowers graduated a year early from high school. He got the GED. He got a GED to graduate early, so he could go to Georgia early. Yeah, I understand the argument that they're not the same as grown men, but if all of a sudden it's the same age pool, if all of a sudden you make the USFL and the XFL the same age pool,
Right.
I don't see it as that much of a disadvantage.
I totally agree. And I also think it's not like there's a magic line where as soon as you turn 18, you go from being a boy to a man. Every kid is going to be a little bit different. You're right. It all happens around that age, but depending, if you take 500 18-year-olds, you're going to have 200 men and 200 boys and 100 somewhere in the middle. So I think creating some system where everyone is at least on the same level is more important than drawing the line at a particular point.
I think at the end of the day, they're going to have
LSU gymnast Olivia Dunn has yet to sign a contract, but her lawyer estimates her deal is going to be worth $4 to $5 million.
Yeah, but that's different. You're talking about when you're playing, the NFL. You're playing. These guys are grown men. If you're gonna sit there, you're gonna get like an 18-year-old and put him in with a 22-year-old or 23. When I got drafted and went up there, dude, that speed was so much different. When I was at Tulsa, I was like, oh my god, it's a big difference. As far as with conferences or just the age. And, they should, if you're 22, 23 years, I was like 23, I think I was like 22 years old. And I was like, whoa, man, and it was just a difference as far as the speed and the size and all this other stuff. And I was like, wow, man, I don't know, I was like, oh, man, this is a lot different when I played, at Missouri Valley. But, it's just, I could see, the USFL and the XF, as far as using like a minor league system, to get these guys, used to the speed, as far as the training and all that. So I could see that would be perfect, to give all these guys, the opportunity, to make it to the NFL, the big boy league.
Well, Byron, didn't you? First of all, when you were at Tulsa, you guys were like 10-1, right?
Yeah.
And you guys are a good team, and to be a good team, you guys had great conditioning and so forth. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay, and then. Tell us again when you were on Minnesota and you had conditioning, what happened to you?
Oh, it was a lot different. We sit there. I'll never forget.
Tell us what happened. You were like,
the first practice we did the first day we did up downs. I was like up downs. Yeah, usually do like for punishment or whatever. We did up downs to start practice. And I'm sitting there, we did it for about 15 or 20 minutes. We did it for a long time. And I'm sitting there, I was like, and I'm all wild and saying, man, oh my God. And then we had to go through a whole 3-hour practice in the heat after this.
So all I'm saying to you now, so the reason why I mentioned 10-1, good school, great team, great conditioning, right? Going from high school conditioning right into professional conditioning, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a gap.
Oh, it was brutal.
I'm gonna be a gap. Hey, look, it is what it is. I understand money and all that. I just hate to see young kids ruin their lives, right? Because if they go for 1 year, then they go into college, they can't play, right?
That's the problem. And the bigger issue is it's not so much that they're not preparing themselves or whatnot, because if you go to an NFL, if you go to a Power 5, some Power 5s are conditioning more than some of the NFL teams. If you go, there's a reason why there isn't so much. You're seeing so many of these guys coming out of college and making instant impacts on their teams when they make it to the NFL. Because they're running on basically an NFL team in their colleges. I think the biggest issue is going to be whether or not the college game is going to how it's going to be sustainable with the way how it's the spending spree, and I don't see how the Department of Educations are going to allow all these universities to let their athletic departments run the show in the red. I live near Akron, Ohio. Okay, I live actually closer to Canton than anything else. All right, University of Pittsburgh, a Power 5 team, $22 million in debt. University of Akron, $53 million in debt. Rutgers, $84 million in debt. There's no reason why.
What's the debt?
It's very simple. Between going ahead and the beautification projects of these athletic facilities and paying these college football coaches these ridiculous salaries, the Department of Education is going to end up stepping in at some point and say,
"It ain't a ridiculous
stop."
salary. You're a coach.
But here's the problem. How could you call yourself a not-profit and yet you're going ahead and you're running everything out of the deficit and you're going ahead and passing on these expenses on to the college students?
All right. Well, let's move on. But I'm just, you know what they should do if The Rock, and I believe he's a good guy, what they should do is if a kid comes out of high school, right? If a kid comes out of high school and he's wanting to play for the USFL and he makes the team, immediately give him enough money to and pay for it. So if the kid doesn't use it, then he doesn't use it. It's not your problem. Pay for a scholarship where he can go to University of Phoenix. He can go to any of those online schools and give him.
He's actually doing that. No, he's actually doing that.
I didn't know that. Let me finish my thought, man. It's a good thought, man. So all I'm saying to you is at least give the kids, here, I'm gonna pay you 120,000. Here's your shit. You don't give me that poor story, bad bull crap. Because there's kids at St. Thomas that are good, that aren't coming from poor places, okay, and are still good because the Bozos have money and they were good, okay. But my point being is
the daddy was an all-pro player though.
Huh?
The daddy, the Bozos, yeah, his dad, they had money.
They had money. You're right, exactly. So it's not like coming out of St. Thomas crying. You guaranteed you coming from. That don't happen. No. But my point being is, if he wants to do that in high school, then buy them a 4-year opportunity for an online degree, right? It's inexpensive, it's whatever the deal is, but give it to them so that way they have their fallback. And he really wants to do something special, that's what they should do. Now you can tell me that if they're doing it, great, but
no, what he's doing is he's doing tuition reimbursement.
Huh?
What he's doing is tuition reimbursement, like any company is doing. Where if you go to school and you pass your classes, you show up with the bill and he pays you back because it's a tax write-off for him.
Yeah, the dude surrenders $80 million and he wants a tax write-off. Right.
Well, I mean, hey, every company does it. Why not?
I understand that, but not every company's not taking kids out of high school and giving them a chance to be damaged.
He's treating it like Target, man.
All right, we're gonna end it on that note. Wow. Congratulations to Carson Wentz. Congratulations to Russell Wilson. Oh, Jets. Give me a little Jets news before we leave, Joe. I
Jets.
Just bring me Kayvon Thibodeau. That's all I care about. Just bring me Kayvon Thibodeau. That's all I got.
All right, awesome. And Joe,
I got one last thing to say, guys. Tell us about your show
when they get. Okay, Andre.
All right. This past week, I lost a really good friend, a mentor, a coach, and a legend in the Overtown, Miami area. His name is Earl Buck Tillman. He's only 10 years older than I am. When I came out of the Air Force and started teaching and coaching, this man befriended me. He mentored me. He helped me become a better man. He unfortunately he lost his battle against stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and he crossed that veil last week. Saturday's his funeral, and it's a true celebration of life because they had to move it to a different location because there's so many people who are RSVPing to come to this celebration of life. This is a guy who he's originally from the Overtown area. And if for those who don't know Overtown was the projects of Miami. This guy, he made himself into something. He got to play college football for Eddie Robinson at Grambling State. got himself an engineering degree, and then became a local teacher and a local coach. And he had nothing but love for his kids, for his players, and he always had a saying that if we're friends, we're family. I got nothing but love for his family that's behind. He's got a daughter. He's got 2 sisters, and they're getting showered with love because of how much love he showered on other people. So
blessings and prayers to the family, and condolences to you and your loss. Joe, you were gonna.
Now I got to follow that with my stupid.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know which Andre we're gonna get, the fudgicle or the obituary. What's going on? It's all about analytics.
If you want,
what's up, Byron? Hold on. Yeah.
We got one more obituary. David Volk, you remember him from high school?
Yeah.
Volk.
Paul Volk's brother.
Yeah, he passed away too. He was a former fire chief for Perth Amboy, like a couple days ago. So my condolences.
He's like your age, no?
Yeah, he is my age. Yeah, he's a he's a
what
former.
Happened?
I don't know.
Oh, I got to reach out to Paul. I played Paul's a year younger than me. We played basketball together.
Yeah, he had.
And his father, I was close with the father. Like they're pastors in our camp.
They're really great. Great family. Great family. And
family, blessings out to the Folk family.
He's a former police, not police chief, but a fire chief for Perth Amboy. So my condolences, to his family. I graduated from high school with this guy.
And I played ball with it, and I know his whole family. I mean, I know David. I know his father was a pastor, and then I played with his son Paul.
Oh.
And they're all stand up. Yeah, Paul went to Susquehanna.
Wow.
Joe. Oh, and John. He went to Susquehanna. So they were actually the father, the pastor, and my buddy Paul would always come to see me every time we played Susquehanna. I always had good games against them.
For me, that game was going home because I used to live in Bloomsburg, so we would go right past Bloomsburg, going to Selinsgrove for that game.
Yeah, so they're big Susquehanna people. So they were in our conference.
They're really good family, real great family.
You know how many? I was just saying, you know how many smelly bus rides I took across Pennsylvania with you guys? I
thought that was you.
I was going to say. Actually, Joe, you can't include me. You went on the bus with me.
Coach, why you bring your stinky son with us?
I was like 12. I was already potty trained by then.
I think you thought you were potty trained. Potty trained is when you clean your ass.
That's brutal.
Hey Joe, what do you think about the state of Pennsylvania shutting down the PSAC?
Shutting down the what?
The PSAC, the Pennsylvania Sports Athletic Commission.
When did that happen? I'm on the other side of the country now.
He's in Oregon, bro. You gotta ask John and the Pennsylvania boys are on the other boxes.
I only go to Pennsylvania to see family.
Can we let Joe finish what he was saying before you guys went on start?
Well, at least on my end, no one died, but I've got a show on Saturdays.
How can we? Yeah, tell us about your show.
11 o'clock Eastern. Go to valleyfreeradio.org or thesportsplusshow.com. Or if you happen to be in Western Massachusetts, 103.3 FM. 11 o'clock, the Sports Plus Show. It's kind of like this. It's 3 guys yelling at each other about.
What about the Potland? Didn't you have the Potlander?
Oh yeah, we also have the Trail Babblers, the Portland Trailblazers podcast. Both available on iTunes and everywhere else you can get a podcast. Check them both out.
Tune into the show. It's a good show. They had me on. I had a good time. And Aaron, I know you have a show as well. When's your show?
Tuesday nights. Oh God, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Because I always it's listed 10 p.m. because San Diego throws the East Coast time, and I'm like, dude, I'm in the Central. I'm in Minnesota. I just stick with my time zone. But 9 p.m. Central Standard with my self and a buddy of mine. We just sit and talk football.
The only challenge
Usually
is
that, and we get harassed in the
everything
chat
is
by a
predicated on Eastern time, just so you're clear.
Yeah, I know. I don't listen to them.
It is an Eastern time zone show, so they're gonna
sit,
show up
chat
late
football.
if you give them the wrong time.
We just talk sports, and then we get harassed by some weird Canadian Cowboys fan. Usually, at least every Tuesday.
Him, I remember.
Oh, did he get his tweet? Did he get his Twitter account back?
Yeah, he put that back. He's already been tagging left and right, trying to saying it's I tagged him in the Jerry Jones news. So then it was like he's like, all right, go Jones. I'm like, so you're condoning this? He's like, well, nothing's been proven yet. I'm like, exactly.
He's such a loyal fan. I'm surprised he didn't say it was his.
I know.
Hey, all right. So that's good. Again, John, as always, thank you. Good luck with Denver and all that. Andres, I still say you can talk all your smack about how much coaches are getting paid, but if you were getting paid and you were coaching, you'd be like, hey, give me the money. And it's sad to hear those schools are in debt because so are the students.
Right? Oh, but he can afford fudgesicles.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the analytics. There's only a certain amount of fudgesicles at a certain time you can eat them, and it doesn't affect you.
Damn right.
So let's wrap. We're gonna wrap up the show, and the reason, just one quick statement on Aaron. We're teasing you about Eastern time zone. We still get asked what time our show is.
All the time.
I know. It's all good.
In fact, you had to figure out what the link was. I'm like, dude, how many times can you just?
One thing, Uncle Eric, shout out.
Uncle Eric.
Hey.
Thanks for watching the show. Pass it on, guys. Please pass on this link when you get it. Share it. Our subscribers are rising. I hope you have fun. I think we have fun every time we're on the show. I've gotten a lot of comments that people laugh when they hear us, just, the banter and the stuff that we go on, but we also give good education. I really appreciate that. Again, we want to end our show as we always do. Blessings and heart out to the people in the Ukraine. They're going through that tough time right there. You got to be grateful for what we have in this country and see what's happening over there. So just sad to see that take place. And again, the Gary Sinise Foundation helps out all our first responders and our military. Quote from Gary Sinise: "Freedom, security are precious gifts that we as Americans should never take for granted. We must do all we can do to extend our hand in times of need to those who willingly sacrifice each day to provide that freedom and security. While we can never do enough to show enough gratitude to our nation's defenders, we can always do a little more." Gary Sinise. That's Gary Sinise, SINISE Foundation.org. Byron, tell them how much they should at least contribute.
Dig deep in your pocket, all the way to the lint, to the lint in your pocket. Just give it up. Give it up.
And the blessings out to the soldiers from Britain and some. There's a lot of older military. They're all going out there. I mean, they're putting those are true soldiers, putting their lives on the line for something that they just don't like, and they're going to go fight. I mean, the Britain soldiers. I think there's some American soldiers that have gone out there.
Israeli soldiers.
Where?
Israeli too.
Israeli soldiers.
The Poles, the Germans.
Yeah, I mean, so God protect all those guys and hopefully bring peace to some of those areas. Gentlemen, as always, Jersey Boy Sportscast, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
East Coast bias, man. What is this?
I know, right?
5 p.m. PST for y'all that don't know what that is.
Thank
and then
you.
Mountain Time is 6 p.m. How's that? We're going to
There
give
you go.
everybody,
Yeah.
give everybody some
Going to dinner
love.
right now.
We're gonna give everybody some love. So, hey, God bless everybody. I'm sad about the news that I just heard with everything. And same channel, same bat time next week. God bless. And tune into our fellow co-host show. And thank you for being on the show, gentlemen. You have a good night, and we'll talk soon.
All right,
Peace.
guys.
Thanks.